Troy, Michigan. I was running a medical lab as director of the lab.
45.
June 84 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਮਨਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਲਕੱਤਾ, who was the secretary of Sh੍ਰੋਮਣੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਕ committee at that time under Dora. So ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਬੜੀ ਹੈਰਾਨਗੀ ਹੋਈ ਕਿ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਅਟੈਕ ਕਰਤਾ. So he started phoning around. तो जब फ़ोन वगैरह करके उन्होंने काफ़ी इन्फॉर्मेशन फ़ोन ते कढ़ी. बाकी न्यूज़ मीडिया साढ़े कोल आंदा सीगा, सारियां अखबारां पंजाबी दी आंदियां सी. They told us what happened. Reaction was very strong. कि how can your own government attack your place of worship. So very strong feelings, and those were shared with Sardar Manjeet Singh, who is a close friend of mine. So us wele ek article भी लिखा सी कि how what happened, why the government is so much against us. So Vancouver the अखबार छपया सी, I don't remember the name, but that was the reaction. The reaction was of anger. The reaction was of very emotional. I was the secretary of the Sikh Association of America at that time, and very much involved in the Sikh Youth Federation, which was started here in '69. So involved in the camps, the retreats at that time. We were strongly in the belief that the Sikh youth should be educated, and they should be trained in the Sikh way of life. There was hardly any camp at that time. So actually we started having camps in 1973. So that was our first camp, and it is perhaps the first camp ever in North America, in Detroit. It has been running ever since. Yeah, so it is about 41 years almost. So the first camp was held at Proud Lake Recreation Area in the suburb of Detroit. I was still in there, and the news all of a sudden came. So I remember I was at work at that time, and the media, the Detroit media came with their cameras and everything. They came right into my office at work, and they had all the video cameras and everything, and that was the Detroit news people. And they asked the question, how do you feel Indira Gandhi is killed by the Sikhs? My immediate reaction was, I was more sensible. I replied that it's a feeling of relief. And then they insisted on that same question, and I said I feel the same way as the Jews felt when Hitler got killed. So I remember that reply clearly, and it came on the front page of Detroit News the next day. And I received a lot of phone calls from a lot of Hindus. I don't know where they got my phone number, and threatening and all that. That we'll meet you in the Gurdwara lawn, and we'll settle score with you, something like that. I said, yeah, well, if you're brave enough, just come. I will be at the Gurdwara. So that type of threats were always there. I heard from friends as well as from the media. One of my very close friend, he was editor of Sainik Patrika, in India, in Delhi. His name was also Kuldeep Singh, and a very generous and very soft-spoken person. He tried to tell the mob that don't kill innocent people unnecessarily. And next thing I came to know that he was taken away and he was tortured and killed by the mob. Yeah, there were some protests. I don't remember whether I had, but right after Indira Gandhi's death, Rajiv came to power, and he was supposed to come to United States in '85. I think it was a state visit of Rajiv Gandhi. So what we did, we organized a protest march in Washington. So that was organized by us, but it was participated by all the Sikh organizations. And so there was a big protest march. I still have pictures of that. And what happened while we were organizing the march, I left Detroit to go to Washington. And I stayed with a friend of mine whose name was Singh. And I stayed at his house. And while I was there, FBI came to our house and surrounded the house. My wife was there alone. I was away. And they questioned her, grilled her quite a bit. Where is he and what he is doing? So she told them that, he has gone to Washington, and this is his address. And after the FBI left, she told me that I gave this address to them, so they may come and see there. So no wonder. Next morning I saw the FBI agent who came specially to Harpal Singh's house, and he asked for me. So I came, and he said, "Sir, you have jury trial in Detroit, so you have to go." I said, "I am the organizer of the protest march. That's my fundamental right. And so I cannot leave." He said, "No, we will bring you back. Don't worry about it. And it's only one day. You just appear before the grand jury, and then you will be brought back. You just come back." So they bought the ticket for me, a round trip, to come to the jury trial, and then the round trip ticket. So I came, and the FBI agent interviewed me before going to the jury. He asked me questions and made sure, what my answers are and all that. And then he said, "I'll ask very similar questions to you, and so you come before the grand jury and talk to them." I said, "No problem." So I appeared before the grand jury. There were, I think, a number of people in there. Some have knitting needles with them and just paying no attention to what is going on, but they were sitting there. All those grand jury was there. So he asked me a number of questions. Then he said, "Do you want to make a statement? You can do that." I said, "Yes, I will definitely make a short statement." So I told them that this is what happened with us. And the person who is the state guest, we don't want to dishonor or embarrass our president. We don't want to create any trouble, but we simply want to protest and tell that this person who you are respecting and giving a honorable reception, we want to tell you that this person is a terrorist, and he's part of the gang. He did not stop the programs that were going on against the Sikhs, and so we are protesting. That's what we are doing. So it just made a very short statement of about a couple of minutes or minute, and then I decided, instead of leaving the same day, I called the airline and changed my ticket to next day because I wanted to take some rest. I was very tired. So here comes the phone call from the FBI. You didn't board the plane. I said, I changed my ticket because I was not feeling well. So I'm going to be going next day. So no wonder next morning when I boarded the plane, the FBI agent was there. And they were following me. So anyway, the protest march happened. I spoke at the protest march. It was a very successful protest march. Buffalo Gurdwara also participated, and I still have their flag, and everybody was there. A lot of people were there. And we came back home, and the FBI followed me for next 2 years on a regular basis till I approached ACLU. And I talked to them. I said, look here, this person is not stopping. And I have left my business and started my business in Toledo. That was in 86. So 85 to 86. And police, every time they come, they show me pictures of various Sikhs, and most of them I know because we are a small community at that time, and the whole of America, any prominent Sikhs, normally everybody knows who is where. So they said, do you know him? Can he cause any harm? Can he kill people? I said, I have not read anybody's mind. I see them in the Gurdwara. They are nice people. They are truthful people, nice people. So that's how I explained to them, but they kept on bringing new pictures and all that, till the ACLU got on them. And from the ACLU attorney, a letter went to them that Kuldeep Singh is our client. He has given all the information that he has. He has no further information to give you. If you want to approach my client, you should come through me. So that's the letter that was written to them. And that's one part of the story. Nothing happened. I never heard from them whether the grand jury found me guilty or not guilty of what they do. Well, they were thinking that are you protesting, or is there anybody in your group who is trying to harm our guests? And that's what they were wondering. I said, we have no intention of harming anybody, but I haven't read anybody's mind. But our group is very solidly in favor of the protest, and we have every right to protest. So that's what I was mentioning. The Sikh way of life, but the thing is, I knew quite a bit about the Indian government even before. So I don't know whether it will be relevant to talk about 1960 when I got arrested in India. That's another thing, because this is the zehniyat of Indian government, this is the mentality of the government, that they press charges when the thing has not even happened. And let me tell you the story of that. 1960, when I was president of Delhi Sikh Student Federation, there was a protest march in Delhi. A very strong protest march on 12th of the June in 1960. And that protest march was about Punjabi Suba. And Mastara Singh was arrested because he was supposed to lead the march. And so Mastara Singh nominated Sant Fateh Singh to lead. And Sant Fateh Singh came all the way, and they allowed it, the government allowed him to come to Delhi and to lead the march. Sikh Student Federation in their executive committee, in their, I think, working committee at that time, we passed that we are all students, because we were in college, and we are all students, so we shouldn't be participating in the march, but we sympathize with the Akali Dal. We are strongly in favor of Punjabi Suba, and we strongly support what they are doing on 12th of June. So that's the resolution that we passed. So none of us really went to Sisganj Gurdwara to start to protest or to participate in the march. But after the march, when we came to know that thousands of bodies were burnt on the banks of Jamuna River, lot of people got killed, and those bodies were, without telling whose body is this, they were burnt on the banks. And we came to know next day, and within 3 or 4 days, I'm not sure how many days afterwards, but police came in plain clothes at our house in Delhi, and they said, we want to get a statement from Kuldeep Singh, who is the president of the Sikh Student Federation. So what happened at that time, I decided to abscond. I left the house from the back door and went to my friend's house. So the police went away, but they kept on coming to the house to harass our family members. My father used to work for government. He was in the army headquarters. He has a undersecretary position. So he was worried, what is going to happen? These police, the police is following me every day. And I was staying with my friend's house, just absconding. But then we approached a friend attorney and to find out what should we do. He said, if they want a statement, they are not going to leave you. Just go and do it. I don't know what they have in mind. So the police came. I went to my house. Police did not handcuff me or anything. They told me, make a statement at the police station next to Gurdwara Sisganj in Delhi. So I went with them in their jeep, and as soon as I reached the police station, I was handcuffed. And there were 12 or 13 charges, including charges of 302. That it's attempted murder or whatever. Those charges. So then they put me in the Havalat, and so I was there. I was stunned. I said, well, I never expected that. At least they should have explained to me what is going on. And then they took me in the evening to the Hardgate jail. So as soon as I entered the Hard jail, I was overjoyed. There were hundreds of thousands of Sikhs there that were inside the jail. And there were Tadiwarans were being sung, the Kirtan was being played. It was such a great atmosphere. He said, you have a college degree, so you want a better class of jail? I said, no, I would like to stay with my brothers. So I stayed with them and slept on the slab. That's what they were. And so I stayed there maybe, I think, at the most a week. I don't remember how many days I stayed, because my father got me the bail. So that's where it's. So I knew the exact mentality of the government that, that was in 60. And so, and after that, when we came to the Sikh Student Federation meetings, we decided that, unless the Sikhs have their own state, they cannot survive because they cannot get justice in this country. And so at that time, we passed resolution and all that, held 3 camps after that, and then the case was kept on going for 3 years. So when the case got finished, because the Akali Dal negotiated the settlement, so I went to England in 64 or 65. So that's when I applied to get immigration to England. They told me it will take 7 years. I said, oh, we are still young, so that's fine. But the immigration came within 3 months. So my father said, just go. So I left for England. And that was an immigration visa, it was not a student visa. So as soon as I reached England, I started getting money pocket money for my living. So I was completely on my own. And, because I didn't have any relatives, any friends in England. I didn't have any friends in America or Canada. So by the grace of God, everywhere we survived. But that's another thing that I came to know from very reliable sources that I am being banned to come to India. So I didn't go to India. I forgot to mention to you here, in '82, when the Dharm Morcha started, I was invited to come to Manjisa. I was not invited actually, they invited the Sikhs of America. And then the American Sikhs, they nominated me to go to India. So I went on my own to India and spoke at Manjisa Gurdwara, at the Dharm Morcha. So at '82, when the Dharm Morcha started, that's what happened. When I came, that's the last time I went. Then I didn't go to India for 23 years. So because I was told that you are blacklisted. So I didn't go, but then I decided, why don't I apply? Because I came to know through some reliable sources again that they have reduced that list. They are allowing now all those people who were not allowed before. And we came to know through Kuldeep Singh, who was the head of the Minority Commission, because he was also an ex-federation. So somebody mentioned to me about that.
Right.
So then I said, if I apply for 10-year visa, it will work. They will refuse, because if they don't like me, they will refuse it solidly. So the visa came in a week. I was very surprised. And visa was granted for 10 years. I said, well, that's great. I still have the same visa thing. And so I went. I was questioned. They said, are you from this area? Are you from that area? But then they allowed me. And after that I went once more. When I wrote a protest, and we gave a report to the media about our camp. And during the camp I spoke to the children. What I spoke, it was also published in some news media. And that came in the hands of the Consulate General. And the Consulate General came to know, and he wrote me a letter, and I have a letter at home. He said, you are spreading false information. If you want to know the truth, what actually happened when Operation Blue Star happened, then you should contact us, because we know every information. And here, for example, this is the book they sent and published the Sikhs in their homeland India. This was published by the Indian government and sent to, I think, a number of people. I received in the mail from them, and they also sent me a videotape of one of the videotape was in which there is a speech by the President of India, Kenny Zalsing, and that was also sent to me. And they're not trying to nullify what I said. So that's the important thing. And this is a very nicely published literature in which they say how many Sikhs generals we had, how many Sikhs prime ministers we had, and how many Sikh intellectuals we have. Give the pictures of all the Sikhs and their, so, and it's a very nicely published book. See, another thing that we did as the organization, as Sikh Association of America, is publish this book, the book they banned. And this book was Oppression in Punjab, and that was also irritating them because it was banned in India and we published it. This book came in our hand somehow, and we didn't typeset it, we just simply photocopied and published it. Younger generation or anybody who is in power should set a goal for the community. What the Sikhs should do. If we will be satisfied, in the words of Sardar Kapoor Singh, a homeland within India, that's all right. Let us do it. Let us work towards it. We don't work towards it. That's one thing that I like. Just like I normally used to say in each Gurdwara lectures about 84, that the Jews suffered the Holocaust from 1933 to 1945. When the Second World War was over in 45, they decided, let us have our homeland. And they decided that was their aim. Next, and they should fulfill that aim. And they did it both practically as well as intellectually. They approached all the nations how to work towards it. I was told that in the Security Council, 13 nations passed that Israel should be formed. And that was decided in the United Nations in intellectual level. And then Golda Meir came and she gave a lecture in Chicago where she was only trying to collect $5 million, and in one day she collected $50 million and took it back to Israel, and the state was formed within 3 months and in 1948. So that's the way to do it, how other people have done. They set an objective and they fulfilled it. They worked till it's fulfilled.